What's good, guys? It's Sam here, and I wanted to talk about Kratom as a pre-workout. It is Friday, March 1st, and I tried Kratom as a pre-workout today. But before I do that, make sure you press that red button that says subscribe and that little bell notification so YouTube can tell you every time I post a video, because that's not going to be annoying at all. If I'm posting 6 times a day, come on, bro. That'll be fun, right? Anyways, Kratom as a pre-workout. So today, last night I got Kratom. My order came in, and I wanted to try it as a pre-workout. I've tried Kratom several other times. I think 3 other times, and I never really noticed it at all. I do think I had a pretty small dose of the Kratom the other 3 times that I've taken it. So I wanted to try a little bit more. I got capsules. I will, actually I have them right here so I can let you know the strand I have. My Ragina Spirit. I'm not going to actually try to say the name of that. You can see right there, hopefully. What do you think? It's a white strand. So the very preliminary amount of reading I did on it, the white is supposed to be good for energy. I think that suits me a little bit more, although red would be interesting to try right before bed to see if it helps with sleep. I don't think I wouldn't say I sleep horribly, like I wake up in the morning and I feel energized, but I think that's just my natural energy. But I do wake up many times throughout the night, so I was thinking potentially trying some of the red strand 45 minutes to an hour before bed and see how, or if I sleep any better. I just wake up so many times throughout the night moving around, and that's been happening since I was in my probably 2021 is when it started. So excuse me, I'm just kind of used to it at this point. Anyways, now to get into my experience today, right? It's Friday, March 1st, and I left work early today and went straight to the gym. Prior to leaving work, I took some Kratom along with a 200 milligram caffeine pill. So that was probably 600 milligrams of caffeine prior to going to the gym. I took 200 when I got up, 200 halfway through the morning, and then 200 when I was about to leave work. So I took 3.6 grams of this white strand of Kratom. Also, I'll put the strand name of the Kratom in the description. Also, in the description will be my Instagram. If you want to come over to Instagram and say, "What's up?" Shoot me a DM. But I took 3.6 grams, which from my very limited research, it seems that that's in a normal range for a more common dose, between like 3 to 5 grams. And anybody can feel free to correct me down below in the comments. Also, I would like to hear your experience. I have a question in a minute, but if I took 3.6 grams. From a pre-workout standpoint, I didn't really notice too much, honestly. I took it about 45 minutes prior to starting my workout, and I didn't notice a ton, I guess I would say, during my workout. Yeah, I don't think I really noticed too much. Maybe I was more preoccupied or thinking about it, so you don't really feel it as much, I guess I could say. Maybe the dose was a little bit too small. I'm not sure. So it is 5:30-ish on Friday, March 1st, as I mentioned, and I took another 3.6 grams probably around 45 minutes ago, an hour ago, and it should be starting to kick into my system now. I will be going back to the gym for my second lift around 7:30, 8 o'clock. So I feel as though I feel the Kratom more now, a little bit in the physical, in my body. It's hard to articulate how I feel, but like it's almost as though it's gonna sound weird, but it's like my joints feel good. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but it's not that my joints feel bad in any way normally that I notice, I guess, but I feel they just feel good. Not anything like extreme, like, oh, I'm high as fuck. It's just, I feel like my joints, like my joints in my fingers and my elbow, like they feel good. That's what I noticed. Also, from a mental standpoint, if you have paid attention to any of my content, if you have not, make sure you press that red button that says subscribe. But if you pay attention to any of my content, I tend to be a little bit more A-type personality. I tend to be a little bit more like hyperactive and just very go, go, go. And not that this is sedative in any way, shape, or form that I have noticed, at least so far, right? 7.2 grams roughly so far. But in the way, from a mental standpoint, it is almost, my mind tends to run around constantly. Doesn't matter what I'm doing and physically, and it's almost like there's a little bit less of that activity going on up here. Not a good way or bad way. It's just different. And I mean, I like trying things and experiencing them to see how I respond, and if it's something that increases performance or increases my sense of well-being, or just something that I guess you could say increases the quality of life. You know what I mean, at that moment. So I guess I enjoy it, but I wouldn't say that this is just the first experience from it. So I'm going to be going back to the gym, as I mentioned, shortly. I will try it tonight and see how I feel. I want to know what your experiences are on that, and what's like a more common dose that you would take on this. Also, how do you actually take it? Like, do you take it every day, or do you end up, because I read that it is pretty, you can get addicted. I don't feel like that would happen to me potentially, or at least, let me rephrase that. I don't think I have ever been addicted to anything really, but, and because I tend to always flip things around, because if you were to say smoke weed every day, right, in order to get to the same level of being high, right, you did in the first few days, you'd have to smoke more if you were doing that every day. So I'm perpetually changing what I do, both like in a physical sense in terms of in the gym, but also in terms of different compounds I take for that, so that I can resensitize my receptors by giving them a break. But I'm curious to see how other people are using that. Also, I think something might be interesting to try out is microdosing. That might be another experiment I try maybe next week, where I take maybe a gram like every 2 hours throughout a day or something. But I gotta check the half-life on Kratom to see what the half-life it is, and just see what the experience is like taking a gram, you know, every hour or 2 or 3 or so throughout the day to build up to, you know, what a dose would be, and see how that experience is. Anyways, I'm super curious to know what your experience is. If you've ever tried Kratom before, let me know down below in the comments. Also on your thoughts on the other strands of Kratom. I'm very curious. Lastly, my Instagram is in the description. You can jump over there and say, what's up? I will respond to you, even if it takes me a few minutes to get back to you. Hope you guys have an awesome, awesome fucking Friday night, and enjoy your weekend. Peace.